World War I, with its grueling trench warfare and unimaginable human cost, forged heroes and leaders who made their mark on history. One of the most significant military figures to emerge from the conflict was French General Philippe Pétain. Best known for his critical leadership during the Battle of Verdun, Pétain was a symbol of resilience and pragmatism, helping to shape the outcome of the war for France. However, his legacy is complex, as his later role during World War II significantly tarnished his reputation. This video focuses on Pétain's contributions to World War I, analyzing his military strategies, leadership, and the lasting impact he had on the French army and the course of the war. Philippe Pétain was born on April 24, 1856, in Cauchy-à-la-Tour, a small village in northern France. He came from a humble farming background and pursued a military career at a young age. Pétain attended the Saint-Cyr Military Academy, where he developed a reputation as a diligent and serious student. His early military career was relatively unremarkable, with steady but slow promotions through various postings in the French army. By the time World War I began, Pétain was already in his late 50s. His reputation as a cautious and methodical officer made him a reliable leader, though he had not yet distinguished himself in any major way. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Pétain did not subscribe to the prevailing French military doctrine of élan, or offensive spirit, which emphasized aggressive attacks. Instead, he believed in the importance of defensive strategies and carefully planned assaults, an approach that would become critical in the brutal trench warfare of World War I. When World War I erupted in August 1914, Pétain was initially given command of a division, where his strategic caution earned him the respect of his superiors. As the war dragged on and the grim reality of trench warfare set in, Pétain's defensive approach became increasingly relevant. He demonstrated an ability to organize and maintain strong defensive positions, traits that became invaluable as the war progressed into a stalemate on the Western Front. In 1915, Pétain was promoted to command the Second Army, and it was in this role that he began to make a name for himself. His careful planning and emphasis on artillery support helped the French achieve significant defensive victories, even as the war became more brutal and the casualties mounted. Pétain's rise was closely tied to his understanding of modern warfare, particularly the importance of using artillery and defensive strategies to offset the enormous human costs of frontal assaults. Philippe Pétain's most defining moment during World War I came in 1916, when he was appointed to lead the defense of Verdun, one of the war's most iconic battles. The German forces, under the command of Erich von Falkenhayn, had launched a massive offensive aimed at bleeding France white by attacking Verdun, a fortress city symbolic of French pride. The German plan was to force the French to commit as many resources as possible to defend the city, thereby exhausting their army. When Pétain took command, Verdun was on the verge of collapse. The French troops were demoralized and supplies were running low. Pétain immediately set to work reinforcing the defenses and improving the logistical situation. He famously reorganized the supply routes, creating the Voie Sacrée, Sacred Way, a road that allowed a constant flow of men and materials to the front lines. This logistical lifeline was crucial in sustaining the French defense of Verdun over the course of the battle. Pétain also implemented a rotational system for the soldiers, ensuring that no unit remained at the front for too long. This helped to preserve the morale of the troops, who faced horrendous conditions in the trenches. Under Pétain's leadership, the French army was able to hold Verdun, despite suffering enormous casualties. His famous order, "Ils ne passeront pas," they shall not pass, became a rallying cry for the French forces. The Battle of Verdun lasted for 10 months, making it one of the longest and most grueling battles of the war. Pétain's emphasis on defense, artillery, and logistical support played a major role in preventing the Germans from capturing Verdun. By the end of the battle, the French had suffered around 400,000 casualties, but they had held the line. Pétain's reputation as a national hero was cemented. In addition to his tactical prowess, Pétain was widely respected for his ability to maintain troop morale. Unlike many other generals of the time, who often dismissed the suffering of their soldiers, Pétain was deeply concerned with the well-being of his men. He visited the front lines frequently and made efforts to improve living conditions for the soldiers, including better food and medical care. This earned him the nickname Papa Pétain among the troops, who saw him as a compassionate leader who cared for their welfare. Pétain's efforts to maintain morale were particularly important in 1917, when widespread mutinies broke out among the French army. The horrific losses at battles like the Somme and Verdun, combined with the seemingly endless nature of the war, had pushed many soldiers to the breaking point. When Pétain was appointed Chief of the General Staff in 1917, his first priority was to address the causes of the mutinies. He implemented reforms that improved conditions for the soldiers, while also carrying out targeted disciplinary actions. His approach helped restore order to the French army, allowing it to continue the fight. As Chief of the General Staff, Pétain played a crucial role in coordinating French military efforts during the final stages of the war. Although he did not lead any major offensives personally, his focus on maintaining a strong defense and preserving the fighting capacity of the French army was vital. By 1918, the French, along with their British and American allies, were able to go on the offensive, eventually pushing the Germans back and forcing an armistice in November of that year. Despite his cautious approach, Pétain recognized the importance of maintaining an offensive capability, especially once the Americans entered the war in large numbers. His balanced strategy of defense and well-timed attacks helped ensure that the French army was able to play a decisive role in the final Allied victory. In the immediate aftermath of World War I, Philippe Pétain was celebrated as one of France's greatest military leaders. He was promoted to Marshal of France, the country's highest military rank, in 1918. However, his legacy would become deeply controversial due to his role during World War II. In 1940, Pétain became the head of the Vichy government, a collaborationist regime that worked with Nazi Germany. This decision to collaborate with the Nazis has overshadowed much of his earlier military accomplishments. Nevertheless, Pétain's contributions during World War I, particularly at Verdun, remain a significant part of his legacy. His leadership during one of the most critical battles of the war, as well as his efforts to maintain morale and improve conditions for French soldiers, have left an indelible mark on French military history. Philippe Pétain's role in World War I was pivotal to France's ability to withstand the German onslaught, particularly during the Battle of Verdun. His pragmatic and cautious approach to warfare, along with his focus on troop morale, helped shape the course of the conflict on the Western Front. While his later actions during World War II have cast a shadow over his legacy, Pétain's contributions during World War I cannot be overlooked. His leadership during one of the bloodiest battles in history remains a testament to his military skill and his ability to navigate the complexities of modern warfare. Thank you for watching our video on Marshal Philippe Pétain and his role in World War I. If you enjoyed learning about his leadership during the Battle of Verdun and the impact he had on the French army, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth historical content. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Pétain's complicated legacy, so feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, keep exploring history with Heroes Historia.